In the words of the ancients, one should make his decisions within the space of 7 breaths. It is a matter of being determined and having the spirit to break right through to the other side.
Hi everyone, this is Luton, and got a Metro game for you today. Now, we played a few games before we got to this round, and they didn't go particularly well. We got pretty thrashed. I managed to get some good points scored, but it wasn't a huge amount of support. So I wasn't really sure how this game was going to go, but I was trying to focus our team down. I was trying to give them advice about what to do, and so on and so on. And you can see the guys have pushed up here, and I'm sitting in my kind of normal position where I can kind of cover and look at both areas and give some instruction. You see the teams are fairly balanced, but you'll see why this is an important round in a minute. Metro can be a tricky round, this first base, if you have a decent defending team, and I did make a tactics video a long time ago using Metro as an example, and if you were to watch that and then look at this, you would see that the way our team is set up defending right now is pretty much my ideal setup for defending. What you have is a group of sort of 3-ish to looks like we've had one guy got killed as I said this, but over on the right here we've got about 2 to 3, on the left you've got about 2, 3, 4, and then sort of sitting further back we got me and another couple of my teammates sort of in this kind of medium range. It's a good thing to do because it means that if anyone does slip through, you've got some backup people to defend, and that's always important. You don't want to push too far forward, because when you push too far forward and you get overconfident, that's when you get flanked and lose the base. We saw that on other videos the other day. Now I have to say as well, for all the people who've been calling out the fact that I've been trying out this new mouse nunchuck setup, and everyone's calling out, going, "Oh, you cheater!" I have to say, it's been a bit of a help, but really not massively. I mean, I'm still not even sure whether I want to stick with it permanently. I'm not sure, because I don't like the fact of the vehicles, despite what I've said as well. And also you'll see from this gameplay that I still have moments where I kind of can't quite get on it. But whether or not that's just a case of practice and I need to get some more practice in with it. One thing that I need to do for sure today, because I haven't used kind of PC setup for such a long time, I'm going to need to practice a little bit more with it to get used to some of the things, particularly as people have said, my gun leading, and I need to work on pulling the gun down in order to get the best out of my gun, get the most bullets on target. So I've checking out a few things today. I was watching and have talked with like Rival X Factor before. You guys know that I talked to Level Cap, and for that reason, I need to spend some time, as I have done before in the past, just getting my own server, just practice against blank targets, and just literally work on my gunplay, work on picking targets, and as I say, working with the gun, learning to move it like that. So that's something I'm going to have a little look at. But if we have a look at the game here right now, you see that our team right now have got it pretty locked down, and they're not pushing too far forward. Martin, there was a guy moving up here on the left hand side, which I think is Martin, calling that out, but we're communicating well. I also have team communication on, which people who have said I didn't do in the past. I've been using Teams, so that's been quite a good thing for the setup and for the team to work together. Yeah, here we go, Martin moving around. But you see, accuracy still needs some work there, and I was getting a few hit markers, but it wasn't enough. I need to work on that focus, on that accuracy, to improve it. So that's something for me to do, and something I'm going to try and work on a little bit. But you make no mistake, there's no point, I don't get where people come from when they're sort of slating you, going, you suck at the game, blah blah blah. That kind of thing just puts me off wanting to play at all. And people calling you out and stuff. I mean, I've been having quite a tiring time with Battlefield recently. I've been playing some other bits and pieces. When people are like breaking you down on top of everything else, it just tires you, and you just feel like it. You spend a lot of time recording, talking to people, working. And I joked about this in game, that the moment I ran away from B is when it got planted. I should have checked this better. There's a guy kills me here. I should have checked that bloody corner. It's stupid of me not to. I had time and I didn't bother. It was bad of me. But yeah, when people like burning you down like that, it's like, I know I'm not the best player. I'm not some pro player. I've never claimed to be. I've never said I'm the best or anything like this. and yet people still feel the need to call you out and burn you down. And people just say, oh, you shouldn't care, you shouldn't care. And, you know, I don't care to an extent, but at the same time, when you spend your time and you spend your energy making, recording, thinking, editing, commenting, it takes a long, long time. And then people just literally slap you down and call you out, and it just makes... it just wears you down, you know, it just wears you down over time. I've said this before, and that combined with the fact that I've been a bit frustrated with some of the teams I've been playing with. I think mainly because I tend to just... I've changed the way I wanted to play, because I wanted to just... I've been using my server and I've been hopping on and just trying to play with subs and with people like that. But with all the will in the world, some of the teams have not been that focused. They haven't worked towards the objective strongly enough, and I think what I need to do for the next week or two is get back in my squad with Noz and Andreas and Martin and work together as a really tight squad to get everything done that we need to do, and I think that'll bring me back up again. So looking back at the game right now, what happens here is I was basically saying these guys aren't getting enough, they're not moving forward, you know, they're sniping, they're not doing anything. I said, right, screw this, I'm changing team, I was leaving you guys. So I decided to change team, get back over onto the attacking team and get these guys sorted out. So I hopped in with Martin and the guys, and I started, I put team chat was on, and I got in there and I started chatting, what the hell are you playing at, guys? I said, come on, get in gear, move forward, let's get this done. I said, drop some smoke, get up to B, you know, flank, everyone else on the left, move forward, and you'll see what happens at this base, basically. You can see that Martin had been sort of staying back to this point, and Martin's a really good player, so, you know, no less on him right there. And you can see Rook is with us as well. And I just said, look, I said, come on, let's get up there. And you might think, okay, yeah, well, you didn't have a particularly good start there, Luton. Well, that's true, but let's watch. And I think the interesting point here was the fact that I was shouting at everyone. I was like, move forward. Look at the map right now. The guys are flanking right around there. Up until this point, they hadn't really done much at all, hadn't really moved forward or anything like that. So I was saying, go forward, go forward, go forward, get to B, keep pushing, put the pressure on them, you know, because they'd become... And right now, look, we were putting a really strong attack on B, and my previous team had put too many people across over towards B, and you can see that the guys have managed to flank almost completely up to A now, which means that then what's going to happen, the other guys are going to pull off, we're going to go straight back onto B, so we're really putting the pressure on them now by moving forward, which is what the team were not doing. Move forward, put smoke. I said throw grenades, get in there, put the fire on them, and you can see that arming A. Come on, come on, come on. So I was like dropping a lot of smoke, taking these guys down, move forward, move forward. I said, look, I've got people behind me, so I need to clear this. So I said, okay, you go for the armor, I'll keep this area more clear. I think I have some appalling accuracy issue in a second. Oh, I do, remember this. Look, this is what I'm talking about. You see how I'm like kind of jumping, and it sort of clicked from one spot to the other. It was not, I wasn't finding my target easily enough, so I need to work on that. I need to work on the sighting of the target. Come on. Oh, got it on the last round there. That was also not good though. But anyway, you see how we've managed to put the pressure on, and by clearing them out and moving into this area, we've really managed to kind of step it up and push them back. We've pushed them back right off of the target, and now they're having a very, very difficult time getting back onto here with us. And this is something that I've said, it's a good balance to be able to understand that you need to do this sometimes, because there's going to be some bases which you can take with few people by moving very quickly, flanking, moving in and taking them out. See, again, look at this, look at me not being able to get on my target here. I kind of flanked, I spun around, turned, couldn't get on that guy, and that's really what I need. There's a guy at my feet here. I need to work on this, and you know, people can just say, oh, you suck. Well, fine, but that's not going to help me, and what I need to do is analyze what I'm doing, and this is something that everyone can do. And you know, it's important to be constructive with negativity rather than be unconstructive. Being unconstructive is very easy, like, you know, it's very, very simple and easy to be unconstructive. All you have to do is look at something bad that's happened and go, oh my god, you suck, you're blah, and just any kind of random insult. But to be constructive is more difficult, and it requires actually some thought, because you have to look at what went wrong and then think about why that happened and what you need to do to remedy that problem. And that's something that a lot of people do in their videos, like Rival X Factor, Level Cap, In The Works Media, all of these guys, all these big YouTubers who are basically looking at problems that people have and how they can improve them. And it's something that everyone can do in their game. If you lose a round, don't just think, oh my god, my team sucked or whatever, even if that is the case, because you're still going to come up against teams that don't really help you in other games. The important thing is to look at what happened and where it went wrong, and then think about what you can do to constructively change that situation, whether that's supporting your team in a different way, or talking to them better, or perhaps teaming up with people a little bit better. Now what I really wanted to do here was to just push forward very, very hard and try and have that same... I wanted to keep up the momentum. Unfortunately, the guys on the other team, they're not stupid, they're not terrible players. And also this is one of the most difficult, these two next bases are one of the most difficult rush bases in Battlefield, basically, as far as I'm concerned. You've got very, very tight bottlenecks, and with a few LMGs, as I've shown in other videos, you can very, very easily keep it locked down with only 2 people and everyone else just moving forward. And that is the kind of difficulty we are having. They've pushed up extremely hard and they're really thrashing it onto us. So, but when I'm talking about things that I can do to improve, like I say, getting on target, and this is something that I've seen, as I say, on other guy videos, getting on your target is a very important thing to practice. Now this weekend I'm going to be running close quarters all on my server, so if you want to be playing my server this weekend, it's close quarters all weekend. It's going to be Conquest Domination and Team Deathmatch. I'm not doing Gunmaster because I find that Gunmaster can leave too much of an imbalance between players, and I don't really like the fact that it's not free-for-all. So for that reason, although I understand why they've done free-for-all, because it probably kind of prevents abuse a little bit, but to be honest as well, it probably doesn't prevent abuse that much, because if people wanted to, they could just switch team. Anyway, with all that said, close quarters this weekend, so that's what I'm going to be doing. At the moment, by the way, our team is just pushing forward, pushing forward, pushing forward. You can see Noz here. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Look, he's got a 3.4 scope, bipoded, flash suppressed M60. That's going to be pretty horrible to come down up against. He's got a big mag there, very, very powerful gun, an accurate fire rate with a nice scope. Basically, all he's got to do is just lie there and pick people off at range. You're going to have a hard time countering that. The only way you're going to counter it is with good use of smoke, grenades, RPGs, etc, etc. But it's interesting what happens with this next base, how things move forward and how it progresses, and you'll see that as we go forward. The difficult thing with this next base on Metro, and it's a good example of other bases as well when you can get very, very locked down, the very, very hard thing to do is finding a break in that line. That was a it was a bad play by me. I said at the time, I was like, damn it. I moved forward, I saw the grenade and I couldn't move fast enough. You really do just have to kind of throw yourself at the enemy, because the longer you take, the longer they can strengthen up defences, and if you take out maybe 1 or 2 guys, they're just going to respawn and fill those gaps. So you need to kind of keep hitting them, keep hitting them. You have to hit fast enough. And you see what happened there? I didn't follow my guy. I spread out to try and maximise the opportunity of us surviving here. Damn it, I shot him in the dick. That's not cool. Cobra got me there. But you see what I did there as I was coming out, the idea, you split off, don't go together, don't bunch up, and I ended up saying this multiple times in rounds, don't sit together in a big group. If you do that, you're susceptible to basically, a grenade thrower or someone just coming in and killing you, and not only that, but you stand out much more. When you're in a big group, you're much more obvious to the enemy because, you're in a big group. So it's much better to split off like that. And also, like I say, if we've got one person going one way, you have a much better chance. Now look what's happened from that initial kind of run through. Now you might sort of say, well, what happened there, Luton? You didn't do anything, and neither did your guy. You didn't do anything there. What happened was, because they found that we were behind, immediately what they did was they pulled multiple, and you see they've still got people. I shouldn't have reloaded there. Because they saw we were behind the line, they pulled people off to come and get us, and in doing so weakened their line. And this is what I say, you only need 1 or 2 people to slip through, and that's why you got to keep rushing, keep pushing, because once you can get through that line, they're gonna have to pull people off to deal with you. And in doing so, you create more opportunity for the rest of your team, and more and more. So trying to go slowly and kill every person on the way it's not going to necessarily work. You need to kind of keep throwing yourself at the enemy, dropping smoke, dropping grenades. I don't mean kamikaze suiciding where you literally run in without any kind of regard for your safety, but you have to keep the pressure on, and you have to, just by the law of probability, hope that you get a couple of people through. And then once you have, you need to maximize that opportunity, and that is the only way you're going to do it. However, look at the map right here. We've got several blue guys, we've armed it. This is where this map goes wrong, right here, because we've got a couple of people in this area. They didn't clear out the enemy, they didn't throw grenades onto the objective, and this is where it all starts to go wrong. We've still got people in this area here, they're not pushing back onto that objective quickly enough, hard enough, and this is where we start to lose it. And it's another good reason why I say often that you need to maximize every opportunity. You have to think that this is the only time we're going to get to arm it, because if you don't, then you really lose opportunity. The other thing that happens is, as we know on Rush, if you when you get down to one base, if you allow them, you see what I mean about my gun riding up there and the control, and I haven't got the hang of it yet, and I really need to. It's been, and also I would say the recoil for Battlefield is so much more than many other games, and it's hard to control it. So I really need to practice, and I really need to get better with that. So you lose your opportunity to take that, and you also lose the advantage that you had when you have two bases as an attacker, because they're so much more concentrated in their defense, and basically it means that you just can't you can't get back on in the same way, and then that's when you need to change up your tactic. Right now is where you need to change up their tactic, because what they've done now is they have entrenched themselves onto the base, so just running forward and arming it isn't going to help, and you can see by the amount of people dying around me. For anyone who's about to say, why aren't you rezzing people? Seriously, I'm going to res people right now? I don't think so. Why you need to change your tactic right now. They're no longer defending the corridors, okay? They're no longer doing that. But if you look at what my team's doing, look what's happening. You see how they're coming down here to B, and they're only focusing on that one point. See how on the right hand side of the map where A was, there's no one. What my team should be doing right now is flanking around, moving down these stairs, attacking from multiple directions so that they can surround the enemy, kill them all, and then by doing so, once they've cleared it out, arm the objective and win the round. That's how you take control of that situation. You don't need to go in a single file anymore. You need to spread out, go all the way around, cover them, surround them, take it out, clear it, and win it. And we do that on another round on Karg Island, which I'll show later on. Thanks for watching this one, guys. Look forward to your comments, etc, and see you for the next one.